Hey guys, this is Keith here. Today we're going to be talking about, you giving your insurance company a call and you asking them to lower your premium, and they did. But what they don't tell you is, and what they didn't tell you in the policy inception, is they might have removed, critical coverages, leaving you exposed when you need it most. So let's just talk about, how this happens and what you need to check before it's too late, right? So a lot of people, don't realize this until something happens and they need to file a claim and it gets denied because they don't have the coverage in place prior to having that accident or that fire, that disaster, right? So reason number one why companies do this and what they normally do is they, regarding your auto insurance, they might remove your comprehensive and collision without telling you, right? So they're gonna they're gonna just strip the policy. They're gonna type on their keyboard for 30 seconds and then give you a new price. And what happens when you lower your premium like that? What happens when you ask to lower your rate, but they remove your insurance, right? They remove the insurance that you need, especially if you have a financed vehicle. They'll move comprehensive and collision insurance without explaining what that actually means. And then suddenly your car is just covered for liability. So if it gets stolen or totaled, you have to pay out of pocket for the full amount of the repairs, or a new car in itself. And most people don't have 30, 40, 60 grand just laying around, let alone if you have like a Mercedes or a Porsche or something like that. It's upwards of $100,000 in repairs, or if the car is totaled out. So just imagine waking up, finding your car stolen and then finding out you're not actually covered because they removed your comprehensive coverage. How would you feel in that instance, right? Kind of ask yourself that question. A good company, a good agent is just going to explain what's being removed before they adjust your policy. Make sure it's okay with you. Make sure you're aware of the things that they'll remove, or just find better ways to lower your premium without reducing or sacrificing the current coverage that you have. Whether that's looking at some different discounts, looking at some different options with bundling, home, auto, life, umbrella, commercial insurance, business insurance. There's a whole slew of ways that you can really lower your premium. It really saving $20 a month sounds great. When you first get over the phone, you're like, cool, well, this is $20 less I have to pay to this company, until it costs you $20,000 when your car gets totaled, or costs you $50,000 to buy a new vehicle and you're refinancing another vehicle because your car is stolen, or whatever it is, right? Reason number two, regarding your home insurance, they'll reduce coverage without you knowing. So companies cut back on key coverages like replacement cost value, and they don't tell you. And a lot of companies don't even explain what replacement cost value or actual cash value even means, right? So replacement cost is, if I have and I've explained this before in a video, but I'll go over it again. If I have, a couch that cost $10,000 when I first bought it, it's a huge couch. It's my living room set, and I use it for 5 years, and now the actual value of that couch is around $4,000. Actual cash value of the couch, right? Replacement cost is going to pay for the full value of the couch in any form of claim, right? Whether that's a fire or damage, due to water or whatever it is. Actual cash value is going to account for all those years of depreciation and wear and tear that you put onto that couch itself. So meaning you'll, be coming out of pocket, an extra $4 or $5,000 for a new couch, because if they're going to give you $4,000, that's not going to even buy the same like kind of quality that you had before a claim. And this just means, it goes into your home's value as well. So it means getting you the full home value as well if your house is burnt down, rather than getting a depreciated payout, based on the amount of years that you've lived in the home, based on the cost of lumber, labor, and construction. And then also your roof is also, actual cash value versus replacement cost. Um, I know within our company, if your roof is at least 8 years old, we'll make sure we give you replacement cost. But a lot of companies reduce those coverages just to bring the premium down, just to make you happy in that first 10 seconds. And then whenever it comes time, when a hailstorm comes, or when there's a huge claim like a fire, you're not going to get the full value that you thought you had in the beginning. Um, Again, would you rather save a few bucks now or guarantee that your home is fully rebuilt when a disaster strikes? That's really the question you have to ask yourself if that's your scenario. A good company, a good agent is just going to warn you about potential gaps before adjusting your policy. They're going to find, again, better discounts without sacrificing your coverage. Whether, you have 20% for separate structures, but you don't have any sheds, or, your fence is only $10,000, you can lower that, or, if you have an umbrella, and your personal liability is $1 million in your home, you can lower your personal liability to 500 to maybe, see some discounts there, or at least occupation discounts, or at least bundling. There's so many different ways that you can lower your premium without just sacrificing the coverage that you agreed on in the first place. Um, a home insurance policy that won't fully replace your house is not a real home insurance policy, in my opinion. Reason number three, business owners. I'm kind of getting into the whole, you know, slew of insurance policy and the policy types, and also different situations, because I want to make sure I'm, covering everything. Business owners get stripped down and commercial policies get stripped down. So small business owners ask for a lower rate and essential protections are removed, like business interruption coverage, or loss of use coverage within a business. And when a disaster hits, now you can't really cover that lost income while your business is still down. So that happened a lot in COVID, when people couldn't operate their business anymore. They didn't have any form of coverage because their business policy didn't cover that fact. When the shop is inoperable, or when a water claim happens, or a fire happens, and you don't have coverage for your business, what are you going to do? You're going to have to pay that out of pocket now. You're going to have to go, extend your line of credit and try to pay that down, or you're going to have to go try to get a private loan, whatever it is. There's so many different options, to get better coverage in the first place. So that way you don't have to deal with those situations. If you can kind of picture this in your mind, your business is shut down for 2 months after a storm, right? After a huge, let's say tornado, right? And your policy won't cover the lost income because your provider removed business insurance protection and business interruption protection, whenever you ask to lower your rate, whenever you ask to get a lower policy rate. It's a terrible situation for anybody involved. And if you put yourself in that scenario, just based on you're not vetting the insurance company, or you're not allowing the agent, that if you have a good agent, to give you different options, then you're going to be at a huge risk. And a good agent, a good company, they're just going to make sure business owners actually understand what's at stake. They're going to understand the risks that are involved within those policies. Then also just find legit ways to save money without, you know, removing and exposing their business to huge risk, right? So your business is your livelihood. Cutting the wrong coverage, it could mean losing everything when a disaster strikes, and you don't want that scenario at all. So reason number four, is just in general lowering your limits, and then that equals higher out-of-pocket costs and payouts from your own personal bank account when things happen. So companies will lower your liability limits without warning. That means when a major accident happens and you get sued for more than your policy covers, you're gonna have to come up with that extra 100, 200, $300,000, just because you didn't have the coverage in the first place. And that cheap premium does feel good now, but what happens when someone sues you for 250,000 and your policy only covers 50, for bodily injury, or they subrogate against your insurance company because they are literally suing you, for whatever reason. Most people have all types of reasons, but if you don't have the coverage in place in the first hand, you're not going to be able to get proper coverage, and you're going to be coming out of pocket for those. So again, a good agent, a good company is just going to educate you on how liability limits actually work. They're going to find ways to save you money that don't put your assets at risk. And even if there's things that have changed, say you got your policy 5 years ago, and you don't need this form of coverage anymore, and you're still paying that higher premium, you can remove that and lower the premium. But just know that you're actually protected if you have a good agent that is informing you on the risks that are involved, informing you on the different discount options outside of sacrificing the coverage that you currently have. So, again, a lawsuit, can wipe out everything you work for whenever it comes to business, whenever it comes to auto lawsuits, whenever it comes to commercial lawsuits. Your insurance should protect you from that and not leave you exposed, and it's honestly terrible because there's a lot of bad actors in the industry that put, people in that situation, and they put them at risk. So again, I just kind of want to inform you guys, and shoot me a comment, liability check in the comments if you want me to review your limits for free and make sure you're properly covered. There's a link in my bio. You can share your deck page with me, but it's also my website as well. But reason number five, some policies just become practically worthless. And this is probably one of the biggest ones. I mean, outside of all the other ones we covered. So certain endorsements or coverages get quietly removed over time when the premium is lowered. If you complain about your renewal rate on your home and you hadn't, essential endorsements, or you had utility line coverage, sewer and drain backup, and they just remove those and strip those over and over again, it is gonna look good on paper, but it fails when you actually need it. And now you're at a huge risk if something did happen, and you're gonna wonder why you didn't have that coverage in the first place. And most people don't even realize that the insurance is worthless until they do file a claim, and by then it's too late, because by Texas state law and by national law, if you don't have the coverage in place at the time of a claim, you are not covered. You can't get in an accident with 30, 60, 25, and then try to increase it to 100, 300, 100 a week later to see if they'll cover it whenever the claim is being processed. Like, no, they're going to look at your policy, the time of an accident, the time of a claim. And if you don't have that coverage there, you're not going to get any payout. But a good agent, a good company is just going to go over exactly what is changing before making any adjustments, and confirm with you that you are aware of the changes, confirm with you that, you understand the risk. And if you're making that decision, they're going to at least put it in writing of some sort to say that, hey, they agreed to lowering their liability limits, to 50, from 250 due to this cause, right? And whenever we go back and review, we'll say, hey, we know you lowered your liability limits. It was time to save money. Things were rough at the time, whatever it was. Do you want me to raise those back up so that way you're properly protected, or something like that? Uh, and they're just going to make sure that every dollar you spend actually protects you. That's really my job. Whenever I encounter people and they feel like, oh, this premium is so high, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to offer the best protection at the beginning. And I'm going to let you know that I'm here to protect you. I'm not here to strip your policy down and shoot you to a call center. I'm not a lizard. I'm not an elephant. I'm not a lemon. I'm going to make sure that you're properly protected, and I'm going to give you the right coverage. So again, the insurance policy that won't protect you when you need it isn't a good deal for anybody. It's actually, really a scam. And a lot of people feel like they're getting scammed out of insurance companies, because when they sign something and they are not aware of the risks that are involved, and they get in an accident, they get in a claim, they get in trouble, they are frustrated and they are mad because they don't they feel like the agent should have gave them the right policy at the time of inception. They should have gave them the proper coverage and assess the risks that are involved within their current situation, whether that's home, auto, life, umbrella, and really not even life insurance that much, because life insurance pays out a little later, but and you really can't strip those policies. But like umbrella insurance for sure, home insurance, auto insurance, commercial business insurance, those are things to really hone in on. So I get it. Times are tough, economy's tough. Everybody wants to save money, and the saving money the wrong way though can leave you completely unprotected. I say it's better to partner with the insurance company or agent that is actually going to be on your side when stuff does happen, versus trying to save money through going online, or buying insurance from an elephant or a lemon. And if you want a real coverage review, if you're like, hey, this was great value, I want you to look at my policy and make sure I'm properly covered, I have the right coverage in place, DM me, call me. There's also just a link to my website where you can actually shoot me a call, shoot me a text, email. All the information is there, and you'll be able to at least get a free review to say, okay, this is what I'm covered for. This is the best form of coverage. And if it's not, I'll go over it with you on the phone. Hey, what's your current situation? What is going on? What do you want to be covered for? Have you had a situation where you weren't covered and you experienced what it's like to not be covered, right? So I want to make sure I'm going over those. But again, this is Keith here, your insurance professional, just giving you advice, just giving you intellect on how things actually work in the industry. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys for watching the video. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to speaking with you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.